It's Tom. I'm back. It's the Sunday after last, and me and Isabel are gonna cook some dinner. So, anyway, we're gonna make one of the most classic, simplest dinners ever possibly made. First thing I got my pasta water going. We're gonna make what is called pasta carbonara, which is a very simple Italian dish. Anyway, trying to get the salt open. So it's very, very important. Any pasta, you want salt the water. So I got kosher salt. Add a little bit, quite a bit to the water. Maybe a little bit less than normal because we're making carbonara, which is going to have the bacon, which is pretty salty to begin with. Then we have some grated Parmesan cheese, parsley, have the heavy cream, the black pepper, some sweet frozen peas. In this case, I'm going to use some angel hair pasta, is what I have. Some fresh garlic. I bought these organic eggs today, and so far I have, right there I have one entire egg, and one egg yolk. But anyway, I'm going to actually start first with the dessert, which is, I kind of usually do that. So in the back little pot here, I have a little pot. I'm going to add some butter, which is a little bit more than half a cube, or I guess about a half a cube actually. I'm going to melt that down. I like to kind of get the pans going first, so I already have that one cruising. I'm going to melt the butter. Meanwhile, right here in the big saute pan, which I have heated up and I have on pretty high, I'm going to pass the phone over to my beautiful girlfriend as well. And where's the olive oil? It's one of the ingredients I need. Where'd you put it? She cleaned my house. Okay, so I got this hot saute pan here, and I'm going to add the olive oil. So this dish is pasta carbonara, which is a classic, simple Italian dish. We have a hot saute pan with a little bit of olive oil, adding the bacon. You can use pancetta, which is a cured pork belly. It's not smoked. This is smoked bacon, but it's not super smoky. Oops. So anyway, we'll start that. And in the meantime, the butter's already melted. It's one of the most simple desserts ever. We'll show it at the end, but I'm going to make a butterscotch sauce. So I have the melted butter, and probably around the equal amount of brown sugar. So it's like a quarter cup of each. Add the brown sugar. It's kind of like a caramel. Butterscotch is like I guess would be the cousin of the caramel sauce. So I'm going to turn that down here. I'm just going to melt the butter and the brown sugar together. In the meantime, I'm going to keep cooking the bacon. And then we're going to jump over here. I have all the mise en place, which would be the chopped parsley and fresh Parmesan cheese. And then I have some crushed red peppers, very important. I kind of like these little packets that I get from the pizza place because they're fresh and they're sealed. And we have some frozen peas, fresh black peppercorns that we're going to grind, some 36% heavy whipping cream, and the pasta. Normally this would be spaghetti. I thought I had spaghetti, but I didn't, so we're going to go with angel hair, which will work fine. And then over here I have one egg and one egg yolk, which I'm going to add a little bit of heavy cream, shake it up. It's kind of a, so in the traditional, original Italian pasta carbonara, you probably wouldn't see the heavy cream, but I've seen that before. You add heavy cream. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of creme fraiche. So you mix that with the egg just a little bit. I'm going to add some of this cheese right into the egg mixture, and a little bit of the fresh cracked pepper. Doesn't need much because we're going to kind of season in layers as we go. So we'll season the bacon with some pepper also. And a little tiny bit of salt. Then actually we're going to slide over here to the second ingredient. So what I have here is some super thinly sliced fresh garlic. So you just take so what you do is you take a clove, or a bulb actually, this would be considered a bulb, fresh garlic. Don't use the canned or pre-sliced or stored in liquid, so it's fresh. So I smash that, and that produces these little cloves. And the same thing, you smash that a little bit with the back of your hand, with the back of a knife, you just peel it, and get rid of that skin. Get rid of all the skin, because that'll kind of add a weird texture you're not looking for. And then you just take that peeled clove of garlic, it's already peeled. If you kind of hold your fingers in a certain way, you can just slice it and bend your knife a little bit away from your hand so you don't cut yourself. You slice it super paper thin. Add that to right there. Okay, so now we have all our mise en place. We have our little bit of Parmesan cheese, a little bit of cream, 1 egg yolk, organic fresh egg, and a little bit of heavy cream. And we have about that much pasta. I'd say it's probably 3 servings, which will be perfect. So my boy Jesse might come over some. Then we have the pasta water boiling with a generous amount of salt. I'm just going to add the pasta. You don't want to break it up. We'll add that. Then you come over here, we're going to turn this up, the bacon. The bacon, the pancetta, or sometimes they use what's called a guanciale, which is a pork jaw, a cured smoked jaw of the pork. Similar to bacon, has a little rind on it, it's kind of crispy. So anyway, keep crisping up that bacon. Pasta's cooking. Kind of want to follow the instructions on the packet of pasta. For long pasta, spaghetti, linguine, capellini, probably be like 10 minutes. I'm going to go a little bit less, so probably like 8. And over here I have the butter, it's a little hot, butter and brown sugar, and I just melted that together. And then, for the dessert, I'm going to add to that, get something to stir with first, a little bit of heavy cream. So you have to be kind of careful. Have that on low, simmer, 2-3. The butter's melted, the brown sugar's melted in. If you're making a caramel, you might want to caramelize it a little bit more, but this is butterscotch, so we're going to add a little bit of heavy cream. You have to be careful at this point because it'll sometimes volcano up. That's why I have the little pan. I'm not going to add a whole lot of heavy cream. And we're going to turn that up a little bit, stir that up. Kind of the base of the, you could use that same base for butterscotch pudding. You can make a butterscotch creme brulee, which is the first dish I ever tried with homemade butterscotch. I'm going to put a little tiny pinch of kosher salt. Just going to keep cooking that. In the meantime, we're going to stir the pasta a little bit. Gently. Okay. And back to the bacon. So you kind of want to get this crispy before you can go anywhere else with it. It's on high. It's going. I might actually switch burners here because, let's see, metal table. Because that's a tiny burner. I'm going to go over there with the pasta. Going back to the big burner. Get this one going. Okay. Keep crisping that. So pasta carbonara is one of the very simple, classic Italian dishes that you kind of want to learn before you move on to like a whole bunch of other pasta. This bacon is pretty fatty, which is super good for this dish. It might be almost a little bit too fatty, but we'll analyze that in a minute. Go back to the butterscotch. We have the heavy cream, the butter, the brown sugar, and a tiny pinch of salt. And we kind of caramelize the butter a little bit, which was already brown butter, or I'm sorry, brown sugar was already brown, so you don't need to do that much. Just basically melt them together. I'm going to let that cook. Kind of like to start the dessert first, so when you get done eating the main course, the dessert will be ready to go. So this pasta actually is close, you can tell. Usually what I do, the best way to try it really is to try it. Take a piece. It's a little bit firm, al dente, but since we're using angel hair, I'm going to turn it off and let it sit for a minute. So now back over here to the main ingredient of the bacon. See how it's crisping up? So I have this little strainer here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of a little bit of this bacon grease. Some is good, but maybe a little too much. So pour some of that off, right? And then I'm going to take my little towel and wipe the edge of the pan, make sure it doesn't catch on fire. And then you have your bacon's crispy, a little bit of grease. And then, super important, you want to add the cracked pepper right to this foundation, building the foundation. It's kind of like they do in Indian cuisine or other types of cuisine. You want to, these are whole seeds. You want to release some of the oil from that. And then, you turn that down so it doesn't burn. Simmer. Stir it. And I have my Domino's Pizza brand crushed red chilies. Which are actually really good because they're fresh. They're a little bit spicier than some of the other dried out ones. Just going to add a little bit, like yay. Okay. I'm going to stir that up. Kind of sweat out the oils from the seasoning, the spices. And then we're moving on to the fresh, super thinly sliced garlic. This is probably a super important ingredient. We're going to add that right in. Here's sizzle. Slow and low. You can smell it. You don't want to like super brown that up. A little color is okay. Then, so I kind of want to stop the cooking process, so I'm going to take a little bit of this pasta water. I'm going to add a little bit of the water. You hear that? Now, it's basically done cooking. I have it on simmer. It's not going to brown the bacon anymore. It's not going to burn. The garlic's already sauteed a little bit. A little extra bacon here. Let's put that back. Okay. And then, in the meantime, back here in the dessert world, we have our butterscotch sauce has been simmering down with the heavy cream. I'm going to turn that actually off. Looks about right. Turn it off and it should be about right. And then our pasta. Really. I'm just going to take it. I already added some of the pasta water. I'm going to go over here to the sink. Drain this off. Get most of the water off, see all of it? Most of it. Get back in there. Okay. Now, at this point I'm going to turn this up actually a little bit. Because I have, right here we have the egg mixture, which I showed you earlier. Has a little bit of heavy cream, 1 egg yolk, 1 whole egg, a little bit of salt, a little bit of fresh ground pepper, and Parmesan cheese. Okay, and then I have the frozen sweet peas that I thawed out earlier. You can use fresh peas if you had them. These are actually pretty good. Probably the same that you would get anywhere else. Even though they're a great value brand. They're probably the same ones you get at World Foods or something like that, I imagine. They're pretty good. So, now, it's very simple. I'm going to add the pasta right back into the dish. You still have a little bit of the liquid from the pasta water. It's not really a saute pan, it's a 2-handle pan, but I'm going to try this anyway. Toss it a little bit. Let's see. Okay. Then we're going to hit that with some fresh peas, which are already thawed. You don't really need to cook them. You want to keep them green, so quite a bit. Right? I'm I'm going to toss that a little more. It's still hot. See all the steam coming off? Let's try that again. Let's do a little more. Get those. Toss it a little bit and see. Okay. Then, kind of want to season the layers. So I season the pan with the bacon. I season the water for the pasta. A little bit more. A little black pepper. A little bit more crushed chilies. My girlfriend, she's Mexican, so she likes it picosa. So, a little chili. Okay, and then I'm actually going to, you probably wouldn't normally do this in Italian cooking, but I'm going to add a little bit anyway, a little bit of olive oil, just to give it a little creaminess. Toss that again. Then I'm going to grab a little piece of butter. This you definitely would not see this in Italian cooking, but in French cooking you would. It's called beurre, which is finished with butter. Kind of gives it a little more creamy depth. So we're just going to put a couple of little thin pieces of butter right off there. Why not? Still on low, still sizzling a little bit. A little bit of butter. Then, it's an important step here. So this is still, I have it on low, I have it on 2 actually. And I'm going to add this egg mixture. Stir it up again. Eggs, a little bit of cream. I have seen in the past, normally in Italian cooking there wouldn't be cream, but I kind of want to give it a little cream. Sometimes you see maybe a little bit of sour cream, a little bit of creme fraiche. And this dish here is one that can be expanded on. I've seen shrimp carbonara or chicken and broccoli carbonara or just a vegetarian carbonara with grilled asparagus. But anyway, we'll add the egg mixture like that. Try to get all that with the cheese. It's a very simple dish. Get rid of that. And so you want to keep stirring it right after you add that. It's still warm. You want to kind of cook the eggs, but you're not looking for scrambled eggs. There's a cheese in there. So toss it a little more. Okay. Just let that carryover heat, the external heat from the pasta will kind of cook the egg a little bit. A little creaminess. Okay. And then we're going to hit it with a little bit of parsley, a little tiny bit of kosher salt. So we already salted the pasta water, and the Parmesan is a little salty. The bacon can be a little salty, so just a little bit. Then that's it. I'm going to toss it one more time. Then we're going to come over here to the table and plug that. What you want to do is kind of give it a little twisty, get a little twist, right? Go right in the middle of the plate. One of my pet peeves, the middle of the plate. A little bit of peas over the top. Okay. Then we do a little more. Little peas. So that'll be my plate. A little bigger. Okay. Little twist. Then let's do a little more peas. Make it fair. Okay. Then couple forks. And so, oops, this is table's clean. So then what you're going to do is finish with a little more Parmesan right on top. A little Parmesan though. A little bit of fresh chopped Italian parsley. And boom, that's it. And I'm going to plate the dessert now because I want to show you before I have to pause the video. So we're going to do it real quick. So most simple dessert I've ever made in my life. You have your butterscotch sauce that we made, okay? Like I said, you could do a butterscotch pudding, you could do a butterscotch creme brulee. But it's Sunday, so we're keeping it really super easy and simple. So just take a big spoon or a spoon. And I bought some premium vanilla bean ice cream. Simple. You could make your own if you wanted to. But I'm just going to take a little scoop of this. A little tiny scoop or big scoop, whatever you want. You could do a, little caramel cage or something like that, but I'm going very simple. It's pretty cool ice cream. It has, you can actually see the little piece of vanilla in the middle. It's really good. So, wait.
1, 2, 0.
Get another spoon or something.
8.
Scoop it off. Okay, and then I'm going to take a little bit of this very simple butterscotch sauce. We're going to drizzle it over the ice cream. A little bit. You could add some whipped cream, some toasted almonds if you like, whatever you want, but that's all we're going to go with. It's dessert. And then we're going to go over and try the main course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you try it. You want something to drink? You have something to drink? Here you go. What do you think? No, not yet. Come here. Come over here. Wait, come over here. I can't see it. No. Put it up. Here's mine. How is it? It's okay?
It's good.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway.
It's so good.
So good? Good. Good. I tried. Good.